Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead and some interesting news we got today about another movie that's reportedly in the works, and that is a DARYL Dixon movie. Now, this is really interesting to me. I was not expecting this information to come out at all because I had another video planned actually, and I just found out about this. I just jumped on my computer to make this video, but yeah, this is really interesting because when we're talking about movies, we usually it's sort of revolved around Rick and stuff like that because we know his movies are really happening. All other movies are right now, just speculating. But yeah, this is really interesting. Now, the report comes from NME. It's it's like an article page where they have they talk about movies and TVs, music, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna be talking about it in this video. But I just want to say that none of this is 100% confirmed. Even the reports are saying that it's in the works. There's nothing been, greenlit or confirmed or anything like that. So take this with a grain of salt. It's more of a discussion. I just want to see what other people think about this, would they like it, would they not like it. So let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and read the article and get more into it. Spoiler warning, I guess, in case you aren't caught up with The Walking Dead. And then also, if you are a fan of the show, be sure to subscribe for more content. But with all that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so a DARYL Dixon movie. I don't know how this is gonna work. That's what they're calling it, like a DARYL spin-off movie, because DARYL right now is on the main show. So is this gonna work? Like, I think it could potentially work. Not anytime soon. I think it's gonna probably happen later on, but I do think it'll work. But let's go ahead and read the article before we talk more about it. But it says, a spin-off film centered on The Walking Dead's DARYL Dixon is in development, according to reports. Sources close to We Got This Covered have said AMC is working on a movie about their series' much-loved crossbow-wielding character. The sources said it has not been greenlit, but it is in discussion. So that's interesting right there. Because it is saying reports, so I'm assuming it means like a lot of other people are talking about this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have been talking about it. I don't know if they would want this article published and stuff like that, but we'll see. I mean, maybe they were discussing it at AMC, and one person told another person told someone else, and it just got out like that. But again, it says here like it's not been greenlit; it's just in discussion. So that could really mean anything. Anything can be discussed. I think they were even discussing like a Maggie movie at one time. They were talking about it. There was reports of a Maggie movie possibly happening, and then Maggie's back on the TV show, so that didn't really happen. So we'll see. But I want to move on and read this as well. It says, the publication added to the film would likely be set after season 11 or 12 of The Walking Dead and would see Daryl search for former series protagonist Rick Grimes, while throwing in some flashbacks with his volatile brother Merle, who died in season 3 episode 15, This Sorrowful Life. So that's exactly what I was just talking about. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. They're not just going to kick Daryl off the show. If this does happen, and this is the only way I would see this happening, is if it happens later on and Daryl going to search for Rick makes sense. Now they're calling it a Daryl spin-off movie. Would it just be Daryl there? Because I feel like a lot of people would want to go, right? Especially, like, I don't think they're gonna leave Daryl. Here's the thing: I don't see Daryl leaving the show and the show continuing. I mean, I do, but I just feel like it's so deep into the show now that they would want to wrap things up altogether. Like the characters going looking for Rick, and then maybe in one final movie, they reunite and stuff like that. Just ended the way it started with Rick and his family. And they're saying it's going to happen after season 11 or 12. So that's even like kind of proves that further that it probably isn't like a situation where Daryl leaves and then the show continues. I see it more of like the end game for The Walking Dead. So let me know what you guys think about that. But that's what I kind of see here. Another thing that I kind of see happening is Michonne coming and telling them about Rick. And then that would want to drive them all to go after Rick Grimes. So, I mean, Judith knows. She didn't really tell Daryl. So that's interesting because I think they're discussing this because if he does find out about Rick, I'm sure he would want to go, right? I mean, it only makes sense. And I think that's why they're not announcing it to everybody on the show, like the characters, because then they would just get distracted from whatever they're doing, dealing with the Commonwealth and stuff like that. So I don't really think it's gonna I don't think there's gonna be I don't think the characters are gonna know until like after the Commonwealth. That's why the article is saying like after season 11 or 12, and then maybe because remember, the comics has ended. The comic is done, so the TV show is gonna the TV show is probably gonna last longer in terms of story. Yeah, the comic book series lasted like 15 years, so that was very, very long. But the TV show is almost already, 11 years. But the point being is that I do think the TV show will go further in story length than the comics. Even with they have like spin-offs and other kind of stuff like that. So the TV show is like its own universe now. It's its own brand. So the main show will always like follow in the roots of the comics, but they do change stuff here and there. But I do think eventually they're just gonna do their own stuff because again, the comics is done. So this is where this thing can come up. After the Commonwealth, what's next? They could just add it. Like, do they just want to add another group? Like, that would just be another group again. So it'll go from Saviors to Whisperers to Commonwealth to another group. So I think they're going to change stuff up. And that's the way I kind of see it happening, where it's going to end after the Commonwealth or like work towards the end after the Commonwealth. And that's where we could see the characters leaving to go find Rick. And I've been saying that for a long time. That's why I wanted to make this video, because even if this isn't very accurate, they're calling it a DARYL spinoff. But the point is, like, I've always said that I see a movie happening regardless at the end of the season. Like, I don't see the show ending, or I don't see this, universe ending without Rick reuniting with his family and friends. And the best way for them to do that is if Rick's not going to come back to the show, is if the show goes to Rick in one final standalone movie. So that's what I kind of always thought was going to happen anyway. So when I saw this article about a DARYL Dixon movie, I was thinking that this is what they're probably going to be calling it, a DARYL spin-off movie. Do I think DARYL could be on his own? Maybe. It just really depends on how The Walking Dead goes. Because right now, The Walking Dead definitely picked up. Like, I remember people were saying that it's probably going to end after season 11 or 12 during the Savior arc, and then the Whisperer showed up and the ratings went back up. Well, not like super back up, but they're really steady. They're not dropping anymore. They're like very, very steady because everybody who's watching the show is continuing to watch it. It's really good. So I think the show is going to continue on for a while now because they definitely picked up in quality. So let's say they pick up in quality again and it gets even better with the Commonwealth. And let's say the ratings go up. Will the show continue? Of course it will. They're not going to end the show if they're doing very, very good. So is the potential of DARYL being on his own there? Yes. Do I want that to happen? No. I want everyone to go. I don't want DARYL to leave the show. So that's what I kind of think is going to happen. And I don't really like, I see The Walking Dead sort of ending around season 13, 14-ish. So we'll see. Maybe there could be like half a season without DARYL. Like if the report is saying it's gonna end after, or the movie is gonna be after season 11 or 12. Maybe DARYL leaves in the middle of the season, and then that will be the final season. And then after the season, the rest of the characters follow him or something like that. The possibilities and the speculation is endless. That's why I wanted to make this video, to see what other people think. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? In what way do you think The Walking Dead is going to wrap up? In what way do you think DARYL's going to get his own movie? Do you even want to see a movie like this? I'll tell you what I don't want to see. I don't know if I would really be a big fan of just a DARYL standalone movie where he goes and looks for Rick and then comes back and that's it. Like, I want to see much more than that. Like, I like the way they explained it here in the article that I was just talking about, how after season 11 or 12, he goes search for Rick. There's flashbacks of DARYL or Merle, excuse me. So that would work. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like it'll be weird if he has a standalone movie and then comes back to the show and then it continues. Like, I feel like that's like the end game of The Walking Dead, Like, they could have a Michonne movie possibly, and then they could have like the DARYL movie where everyone else comes together and then they all reunite with Rick in the final Rick Grimes movie, something along those lines. That's the way I kind of see it happening. But again, that's speculation. We don't know for sure, and we probably aren't going to know for a while. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. I have a question for you. Like, what's your perfect ending to The Walking Dead? Like, do you think it should be a standalone movie where everyone reunites, Rick and Michonne come back to the TV show for a final season? What do you think? Both those are great ideas. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. What way do you think The Walking Dead will end? And what do you think about this DARYL movie? What do you think is going to happen in it? Do you think it's real? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions. But I am going to wrap it up there for this video. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.